I think it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible.
What is?
Circumcision. I wasn't aware just how horrible it was until we found out we were having a son. And my husband, who is circumcised, was hell-bent on having our son circumcised as well. And his arguments were the typical, he'll feel like he's different, it'll affect his sexual partners that he's not circumcised. He just saw it as shameful or dirty. So we had eventually decided, after a lot of fighting, that we would each do independent research and present our cases to each other, and that's how we would decide whether we would circumcise or not. And I had gone as far as to research different pain relief methods, and I had shown him, I believe it was something about a dorsal block, and then that was the pain relief method that I had found to be the most effective. And when he had seen that that is what our son would have to endure before he was even circumcised, he was completely horrified. And he had absolutely no idea how invasive circumcision really was. He thought it was, the simple snip the tip and he's done. And once he had found out just how invasive it was, he absolutely agreed that no son of ours would be circumcised. And he had eventually tried to convince a friend of ours not to circumcise their child as well. And he unfortunately failed. They did circumcise their son, and my husband was there when they changed the little baby's diaper and saw the wound of what had been done to that boy, and he was disgusted. I mean, you don't realize how horrible it is until you start doing the research, and it takes so much from these boys, and it's my son's body. It's his choice, and he should absolutely decide if a piece of it is missing. Honestly, I haven't had anything but positive reactions. A few, my mother-in-law flipped out. My mother-in-law was very displeased. And my husband actually stood up to her and just said, it's our son and it's his body. And my husband doesn't mind being circumcised, but he has said, he's curious what it would have been like if the choice had been his. So his words to his mother was, it's his body, it's his choice. As far as other people, I've been surprised how many people don't circumcise their sons. I had thought it was a lot more rare than it actually is. Carrie and I have a group of friends, and several of them aren't circumcised. My aunt just had a boy, and he was not circumcised, and I actually had the luxury of not only attending the birth, but I made the stickers to put on the tabs of his diaper, do not circumcise, do not retract. And the nurses were very familiar with it and said, you don't even have to keep the stickers, nobody will bother him. So, yeah, it was great.